Hello guys, welcome back to the Big Screen Show. My name is Victor,
I'm Jorge.
and we are here today, just us two, bringing you guys a Barbie review. We saw the movie about a week ago.
About a week ago,
But we just thought we'd upload a little, thoughts and review on this movie, since it's so talked about at the moment. But why don't you start us off? What were your general thoughts on this movie?
Well, I'll say like before talking about the movie, we have to talk about like the phenomenon that made the movie, which was Barbenheimer.
Yeah.
As we know, the movie came along in the same opening weekend with Oppenheimer, and both of them kind of like help each other to make a bigger audience and bring people to the cinema, which was like a great like explosion phenomenon movement, however you want to call it. I think it was fantastic, especially like for us that were like cinema lovers, like it's amazing. Like we love cinema and seeing this many people being this interested again in like going to the theaters and like watching two movies the same day. I think it's amazing.
Yeah.
And going to the movie itself, without getting spoilers, I think it was a very fun movie to watch. I don't think in the trailers they show really what the movie is about, which is good, because it's unexpected when you go watch the movie.
Sure.
But I think it's fun. The set design, it's crazy. It's out of this world. Characters are pretty fun. Barbie and Ken, amazing. Performance-wise, amazing as well. And obviously there are some points that I didn't really like much about the movie. But in general, it's a fun movie to watch. It's definitely something different that hasn't really been done before in this way.
Yeah.
We have had like movies before or characters that come into like the real world or life or whatever, but in general, like I think they gave a very fresh approach to it, and direction wise, everything was pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that. For me, it's a movie where Margot Robbie is one of my, if not my favorite, actors,
Okay.
female actors.
Wow.
Yeah, in Hollywood.
Didn't know.
Yeah, love her. She's great, I think, in pretty much anything she does. But so that was really the driving force for me and why I really wanted to see this movie, apart from, like you said, the phenomenon and, just seeing it, because it's not really my cup of tea per se.
Right.
If it's not my first pick, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Right.
But I was down due to what I just said. So with that mindset going in it, I was really just open minded, just looking for like a decent movie. But it actually surprised me in a positive way. I thought it was fun. I thought it was very colorful, light, but then of course the plot itself can get a little, people call it woke today, which to me, is not a problem. Like I watched the movie and then I just kind of moved forward. Some people really like to harp on that,
Yeah.
and I'm just not that type of person.
Yeah, it's not really a movie to make a big deal out of it.
Yeah,
'Cause we're
but people
talking
do
about-
just
Yeah,
because
I
of
mean, it's-
the day and age we
Right,
live in.
right.
So it is what it is. But I didn't find it necessarily a negative. I found it more funny, if anything.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, that's honestly.
To me, it's more like a comedic, like a comedy
Yeah.
than a political movie. In
Yeah.
a way.
But yeah, of course. So with that, I just think it was a solid movie. It was a cool movie. Ratings really quick. I'll start. My rating for it was like an 8. I just think it's like a solid, good movie. Would watch it again, not necessarily anytime soon, but like if a friend or if I was with my girlfriend, she's like, "Let's watch it," I'd be like, "Sure," that type of
Okay.
thing. So that's where I stand on it. Not a masterpiece, but not awful. So.
Okay, yeah. To me, I'll give it a 7. I think to me the movie started in a great way, very interesting. Throughout the movie, kind of like fell down, like the pacing, I don't know, like a little bit odd, and then we got introduced to some characters that weren't really that important to like the movie itself. They were like in some moments, but to me, like they weren't, like they shouldn't have had like that much time in the movie. But apart from that, visually the movie is fantastic. The score, the sound, the soundtrack, The musical scenes in the movie, because it has some musical scenes, are pretty fun. The direction was pretty good. Greta Gerwig did a fantastic job in that regard. And again, like to me, like what stand out the most was the set design for sure.
Yeah.
So I'll give it a 7. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think just really quickly, the reason why I give it an 8 is also because I think the set design and the cinematography, the way it was shot, was really unique. So I'm more so elevating it from a technical perspective rather than a substance perspective.
Right.
So I think that's where the majority of my rating comes from.
Okay.
So I just want to make that clear.
Fair enough.
Because I don't think substantially at its core the Barbie movie is an 8.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
that's kind of what I just So, but with that being said, that is our spoiler-free review. If you haven't seen it, which I doubt at this point because the movie is doing fantastic, click off the video now. We will be getting into spoiler territory. This is your spoiler warning. But with that being said, the set design, right? I think we should touch on that a little bit more. I have to say, personally, what I enjoyed a lot about the set design was how alive it felt on screen, like the colors and the differences, like when they were traveling from Barbie Land to the real world, all those different scapes, which were like, it could have been the ocean or like on a horse or like, just different, I think a space, like a rocket.
Right.
And like a plane.
The desert as well.
Yeah, so like multiple different things. I thought it was like really creative, and I liked how that one became more 2D than 3D. Because it's like, again, going back to that whole Barbie toy playful thing, it's like, well, all you really have to do to get Barbie to go from Barbie Land to the real world is just like pick her up and put her here.
Right.
But like in this movie, we're just kind of giving you almost like just a cool transition, and then we're here.
Right.
Because it's about the same thing. Right. So I thought that was fun. Like every time they kind of went from one side or the other and they showed that, I liked it. Like I thought that was just a funny cool thing. But also like her dream house, I thought was like really, really cool. The way they did the way they really stuck to the guns of this is a toy even in that world, I appreciated, because they could have just made like live action Barbie where she actually really does drink water.
Okay.
And like really does shower with water or whatever. And like really does put on her clothes.
Yeah.
But I like how they kept it as playful and as true to what it really is as possible, which is like she's just showering.
Pure imagination.
Like, it's pure imagination. So I really thought that was really good, especially like
interesting.
Margot Robbie comes off from the top of her house to her car by floating, and that's because of the same thing. That's just because when you're playing with Barbies, all you do is just pick her up and just put her in there.
Right.
So she doesn't need to go downstairs or anything.
Right.
So like so stuff like that I appreciated, because I think it just stays true to the content or to its roots, I guess, as Barbie.
Interesting, yeah.
So yeah, that's what I took out most of the set design and how they went about, that whole thing. So what about you?
Well, yeah, like to me, like as I said in the intro, like the thing that stand out the most was definitely this set design. This whole Barbie world. That it was created by the director Greta. Fantastic,
Oh, and even the beach. Sorry to cut you off. But that was really cool.
Yeah, the beach, the dream house, the city itself. We had like Barbie president, Barbie doctor, all kinds of Barbies. And obviously we had like stereotypical Barbie, which was Margot Robbie. But again, like set design and like the clothing from the actors. The whole aura of the movie was like intended to expose or bring more like the characters with Ken with the blue, Barbie with the pink, and so on. We had Alan, which was like kind of like I never knew he existed. I don't know if he's like a real doll in the Barbie world. To be honest,
I didn't really get that too well, but he's just a random person.
Yeah, he's basically like a third wheel in this Barbie world in a way, and he like the only thing.
Pretty funny.
Yeah, he was pretty funny, and he's just one Alan. There's no like more of those. But again, like I really like especially the first 30 minutes of the movie, and the way, as you said, they were like dramatizing, making like human actions into the Barbie world, as like eating, drinking water, taking a shower. Obviously, like the way they move was as if a kid was like moving them around, you know.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool.
Yeah. Surfing even.
Surfing, yeah. Driving, I believe, like she wasn't driving like either. So yeah, that was pretty interesting, and you can clearly see the difference when they go to the real world of the color tones. You know, it becomes more gray and like this like dirty kind of light in the real world, which
just feels like there's less life.
Yeah,
which is accurate.
It's accurate.
Yeah.
It kind of feels in a way where when Neo, if you guys have seen the Matrix before, when Neo wakes up from the Matrix, you know, for the first time, and he sees like in the ship like reality is more dirty and more scrappy and way different than it was in the Matrix. As you can say that, you know, Barbie world was the Matrix for her, you know. So so yeah, it was pretty cool.
I totally agree. But next I think we should touch on obviously the plot and the characters. For starters, like I said, came here to see Margot Robbie, was not disappointed. You know, I think, like I said before, she pretty much nails all the roles she's in. Quick side note, was a little bit disappointed in her role in Amsterdam. Not due to her performance, but due to how she was used from the direction point. But that's a quick side note. Other than that, I think she is a highlight in every film, including this one. Obviously, she is Barbie. She is the stereotypical Barbie. I think the casting, I heard a rumor, I don't know if maybe it is facts, I don't know the validity of this, but it was supposed to be Amy Schumer, and I just kind of don't understand that, unless it was gonna be a completely different movie where it was not based around stereotypical Barbie and based around like a, you know, different
I don't know if that would
type of Barbie. But as far as this movie is concerned and how it is made and what we saw, she is definitely, she meaning Margot Robbie, is the perfect casting.
10 out of 10.
Yes, definitely 10 out of 10 rating as far as her performance is concerned. I also think Ken was a real standout in this.
To me, Ken was a real surprise, to be honest.
Yeah, same.
Ryan Gosling.
Like I said, I came here from Margot, but then seeing Ryan Gosling's performance as Ken was really good, because pretty much the girth, the good 90% minimum, maybe more, of the times where I actually did chuckle or laugh came from something Ken did, you know?
Same.
So I appreciate his effort in this movie, his performance.
He definitely carried the comedy in this movie.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, like you might have a little giggle here with the Alan character or Will Ferrell maybe, but like other than that, it's really just Ken. If Ken is on screen, you're probably gonna laugh, and I was okay with that.
Cause it's like naturally funny. I mean, there are some funny Margot Robbie moments, but they're more because of like her innocence as Barbie. That make it funny for the audience. You know?
Like in the real world.
Exactly. Yeah. Whereas like Ken is like funny, you know.
Right. Yes, I agree. Plot wise, what were your thoughts about it?
Well, pretty simple plot, to be honest. It wasn't very complicated. So we see the journey of Barbie. She starts getting human, becoming human for some reason that she doesn't really know what's going on with her. Like one of the funniest like scenes or parts in the movie to me is when her toes are flat again and she's not like heels toe anymore. And she has like an existential crisis because like that has never happened, you know. So you know she finds herself in this journey to go to the real world and find the girl that owns her, you know, and ask her like why is she making her in real life become as a human and not keeps her as the stereotypical Barbie, you know.
Or maybe not necessarily as human, but more so flawed. Like thinking of death.
True.
Flat feet, like you know, these imperfections that stereotypical Barbie is not necessarily usually accustomed to having.
And not even stereotypical Barbie. Any Barbie I would say, because like that's very deep conversations and deep thoughts to have. Because like they do like that scene in the movie where she says that she's thinking about death. Like, to me, at least when I was watching the movie, it kind of like silenced me in a moment. And I was like, whoa, what is that? You know, like, why is she thinking about that? So that was pretty interesting. And then we see her like find the girl, but we ended up knowing that it wasn't the girl that owned her. It was her mom. You know, and she was frustrated with her life. You know,
yeah,
because she wasn't as successful as she wanted to be, and
right.
she was like
just being a human,
hard-working single mom, you know,
yeah.
trying to deal with life, you know, with a kid that was like in the teenager phase, you know, which is always complicated.
Yeah.
So, you know, we see like this nostalgic side from her, and she finds Barbie and she starts playing with Barbie and kind of like transmitting her emotions and her struggles to Barbie, and then like, you know, that's the whole purpose of like Barbie trying to find what happened and reversing that.
Yeah.
And along, obviously, we see the journey of Ken as well, to trying to like discover himself as he travels to the real world as well. Mm-hmm. And he sees that most of the society it's patriarchal and it's controlled by men in most of the industries. Mm-hmm. And he kind of like loses his mind because he can't believe that in Barbie world he's kind of like not considered, like his opinion doesn't matter. Yeah. He's just Ken. Mm-hmm. And in the real world he sees that all men figures are dominant and in power and
respected.
Respected and everything.
Yeah.
So, you know, he brings this concept to the Barbie world. And, you know, it's like we have like a little civil war between Kens and Barbies.
Yeah.
Which was pretty fun, to be honest. Like, I like that in the Barbie world, they were like debating both ideas and which one was right and which one was wrong. I kind of find that you're always going to be wrong when you're in both extremes. You know, I think
absolutely.
Like, society has to find a way to like,
equal.
Yeah, be equal and be more than equal, have equity, that everybody has what they deserve to have. You know, in a positive way, of course. But yeah, like, you know, as the plot goes, I don't know if you want to add that up to the plot.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much the plot, and I think, like you said, it's simple. Yet I think the movie works in two ways, because a kid, like a little girl, can go and watch this and be completely happy she saw Barbie.
For sure.
And it's like a good story and all that. But at the same time, like adults like us can also go in there, and there's definitely like this deeper conversation being had.
For sure.
During the time run of the movie.
Yeah, I think it will be hard if you're like a 7 or 6-year-old girl and you go to watch this movie. I don't think you're...
To pick up on these things?
Yeah.
No, definitely not. Yeah. No, definitely not. But I think I think they still enjoy the movie.
For sure, no, 100%.
And so that's why it's one of those movies where maybe that same 6-7-year-old little boy or little girl will watch it when he's older or she's older, like in their 20s, and then completely see it a completely different way, you know. Like I have some movies like that where when I was younger, some things just like pass over your head, you know. So but yeah, so that's definitely like the controversial side of this movie, the girth of that plot. But like I said earlier, I'm just kind of indifferent. Like I just watched it.
Yeah.
I simply, until making this video, have not even thought about it since watching it, right, you know? Exactly. And it doesn't faze me. I think it's perfectly fine for the, 2 hours I was in the movie theater, you know? I don't feel brainwashed or anything, right. You know? I mean, society today. But, yeah, I think the plot is fine. It's simple. It's not, it can be deep if you want to look at it from a deep perspective.
I mean, you can definitely analyze it and make it very deep.
Yeah, but I think for what I got out of it and how I looked at it, it was good. It was solid.
Yeah. And at the end, you know, we see how Barbie becomes Barbie and can become James Ken, you know. And they do make.
I like the ending.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. It's kind of like a happy ending, kind of like a bridge between, you know, just self-realization and like
and self-value as well, because Ken in the movie, he could never see himself without Barbie.
Yeah.
Whereas and that was the whole, you know, deal with Ken.
With Ken, right? Yeah.
And Barbie, she just saw herself as Barbie. You know?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Pretty interesting. Yeah.
But yeah, so any last thoughts on Barbie?
Yeah, so honorable mentions, I wanna like say that the supporting actors were also pretty good, you know. Like in general, both Kens and Barbies were pretty amazing, and they do help you give this idea of like immersion in the world, because like
sure
you see different types of like Kens and Barbies, so and with the whole set design you really immerse yourself into the Barbie world, which is pretty good. And definitely the supporting actors help a lot to the main characters of Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling.
Yeah.
And honorable mention as well to Will Ferrell. You know, I think his time was a little like much in the movie, but again, it's Will Ferrell. It's fine. You know.
Yeah, there's definitely some negatives in pacing as far as some characters are concerned. Will Ferrell being one of them.
Yeah.
I think
they drag too much.
I think leaving him in that office would have been perfectly fine.
Yeah, like just one cameo, one scene.
Because literally right at the end, when you see everything kind of come together, then he just pops back up, and it's like, I forgot you were even here.
Right.
You know, so that's kind of just unnecessary, but you know,
but it's fine.
It is what it is. Yeah.
But in general, again, great movie, fun to watch. If you have the opportunity, watch it, because you know, why not? I mean, it's a good time. And I think that's it for now, right?
Yeah, I agree. I have nothing else to say. If you guys like videos like this, please consider subscribing. And if you enjoyed this video, please give us a like down below. If you saw the movie, let us know your thoughts on it down in the comments section. We would love to know. We would love to engage with you guys about this movie. And yeah, this is the Big Screen Show. We'll see you guys soon.
Peace.